right, we're back for another episode, a very special episode of the It's Not What You Think podcast. I'm here with, somebody who's kind of very special to me personally. I got a huge opportunity to fight for this organization, and while usually we talk, the occult, conspiracies, and crazy rituals, today we're just going to be talking about blood and guts and bare knuckle. So, Dave Feldman, the president of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, the guy with the vision. Dave, how did we get to this point? I mean, it's been what 5 years since the first fight, and now Conor McGregor is saying that he's gonna get in there eventually. What do you think about where you started and now where you're at?
John, really, man. I mean, it seems cliche, but you just got to believe in yourself and never quit, man. But so easy to quit. The world makes it so easy to quit. It makes it like a foldable world now. It's so easy for everybody to talk about somebody, to quit, to give up, and not chase your dreams. And you know, you have to have something deep inside of you. You have to have a why. You have to definitely have a why. If you don't have a why you're doing this, you're never going to do it. Like, there's no way in the world that you'll be able to overcome the naysayers if you don't have a why. And I have a few whys, and I think that's why I'm able to push forward through all the bullshit, through all the stuff that people want to bring me down and talk bad about me. And I did realize it took me a long time to understand that the more they're talking bad about you, the better you're doing. Because when they first started talking bad about me, each and every one of those, man, it hit me like like a left hook, every single one of them. And then I'm like, you know what? They're just talking about me because I'm making moves now.
Absolutely. I mean, when I started fighting at the casino, a lot of these fighters locally started hating me because I was, getting, good opportunities where a lot of these guys are not getting that great of opportunities. And I realized, why do these guys hate me? I always see all this online hate, and I realize if you don't have haters, you're not doing it right. If you don't
100.
have haters, you're not doing it right. And trust me, my friend, you're doing it right. And I love everything you're doing. I miss fighting for bare knuckle. And after I broke my thumb off, it was a real drag to have to go through all of that, rehabilitation stuff like that. And but I'm anxious to get back in there, and I'm really anxious to hear. Let's just get this out of the way right now. You versus Dana White in a bare knuckle fight. Who wins? It's I got my
Look,
money on the guy that has a little bit of bare knuckle experience.
it's not fair. Look, I don't really too much want to get into it. I'm just saying what he built, what he does, fantastic. He's not a fighter, and if he was to obviously fight me bare knuckle, it wouldn't be fair for him. So I guess that answers the question there.
Absolutely, I love it. I really appreciate you actually answering that question too, because that would be easy to deflect, But hey, you're a fighter, I know that, and that's why bare knuckle went from people just talking, saying that that'll never become legal to now I'm waiting for every commission meeting so I can try to legalize it in Michigan's because they're really falling behind. You know what I mean? I mean, all these states are legal, and the state that I live in still isn't legal, and it's pretty frustrating for me. Even though I'm from the Florida Keys, now I'm kind of a snowbird, and I really want to be a big fight here in Michigan, but it's like, how do we go about making that happen with some of these commission meetings are so weird. We only get 10 minutes to speak and no one gets to ask any questions.
Yeah, man. I dealt with it here in my home state. I get to go in front of Pennsylvania on June 28th, so I'm hoping I have a successful outcome there because in my mind it's almost criminal that I can't do it here in my home state. And it's we've proven what we are now. We've proven that we're sustainable. We've proven that we're a big player in combat sports, and even more than that, we've proven all the perception, the bad perception, wrong. We, I'm not saying we're safer than boxing or MMA. We're no more dangerous. We're no more dangerous than any other combat sport on the planet. We're not. Anytime you get two men or women in a ring or a cage, and their object is to knock the other person out, it's not safe, right? It's just not safe. But is we're no more dangerous than anything else out there. And now we have the stats to back it up. We have all the data to back it up. So the states that say no to us now, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me anymore.
I totally and absolutely agree. And having experience, regular boxing, 9-0 in regular boxing, 4-0 in MMA, with several amateur fights in all of those, and then doing the two bare knuckle fights. Not only were the two bare knuckle fights the most fun, but they felt the safest to me because punches were skidding off my head that usually the glove would form to your head more, and I felt very comfortable in there, even though I had never done it before. It was like, oh wow, this just makes sense to me. Like, this just makes sense. I barely hit the guy with a jab, and he just starts gushing blood out of his forehead, and I'm like, oh, I actually laughed to myself because I was like, I barely touched him. So, it's way more exciting, and in my opinion, once you land a few heavy blows, it gets even safer for the guy on the receiving end because you can't keep up that type of impact bare knuckle for too long. That's why it's very important to be precise and to let precision, take over instead of power. But, hey, some of these guys are out there starching each other in like 5 seconds, So, hey, there's a lot to be said about a big, powerful punch in bare knuckle, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. But like I said, the proof is in the data. So everybody can have their opinion. They can argue it. Do they think it's this or do they think it's that? The data tells it exactly what it is now. So there's really, I mean, anyone that says it's they're not doing it because it's brutal or it's not safe, then they're just making an excuse up. They're doing it because they don't like it, or they're saying that because they don't like it. They're not giving us the opportunity. But if they give us the opportunity to do the presentation we need to do and to really follow the data, and look, man, we're doing big gates now. These commissions are making big tax dollars from us now. Before, it was we're selling 2,000 tickets, we're paying $4,000 in ticket tax, and it's not much different now. Look, man, I'm writing checks for 30, 40, 50, 60, $100,000 on ticket tax. So that's significant taxes for these commissions. So, I think we're in a great spot now to turn a lot of those no's into yeses.
I must say, I want to just comment before I forget. The Luke Rockhold Mike Perry fight, almost my favorite moment in all of bare knuckle, in all of the fights that have come up to now, is when Luke got hit and he feels his teeth, and the model in him just took over, and he was just like, "This isn't for me. Sorry guys, this isn't for me. I'm done." And it really goes to show you that you have to be different to do bare knuckle, and to you see a lot of these guys fold quickly, but to take bare knuckle punches and keep coming back and not really giving a fuck about what happens to you and throwing caution to the wind, man. I really respect those guys, man. I really respect those guys that do this bare knuckle shit, man.
Absolutely, John. But the thing is like with Luke is it. Had he been getting rocked around, and his health was in danger. I mean, you're getting paid a lot of money to go in there. If you're Luke Rockhold, you're getting paid a lot of money and your tooth broke. I mean, that's it. Your tooth broke. It's not like your teeth got shattered, 20 of them. It's not like 10 of them or 5 of them. A tooth broke. It's not like your jaw got broken. You understand what I mean? Like, I just thought that, being a former UFC world champion and who he is, he should have tried a little harder to continue. I understand, but from our perspective, he got paid a lot of money. A very
I 100% agree. And if I was making the money that any of these guys were making, I mean, my last fight, I broke my thumb off in the first round, and no one knew. Not my coach, not my opponent, not the ref, not you. No one knew, and I kept using it, and I kept beating his ass, so it just goes to show you that, if I was making the money Luke Rockhold was making, please put me in there with Conor McGregor at any weight, and I won't give up, and I'll just keep walking forward for sure. So I
yeah,
totally agree with you. A lot of these guys, aren't cut out for this broken tooth type shit.
Yep, 100%, man. But it's a different sport. It's what I say all the time. It's different. It's not that it's more dangerous. It is a little bit more brutal. I mean, it is. It's superficial stuff, and you have to be a different kind of breed to be able to take that superficial stuff and to take the pain when your knuckles hit someone's forehead, and it's a different pain, right? And when you get hit with that punch, it's just a different pain. It's not the blunt force that you get hit with a glove, and you see a white flash or you get a little rocked. It's not that. It's like, wow, man, that really hurt. Like it's just a different thing.
Yeah, I remember in the first fight, just one little punch like grazed my eye, and in between rounds, you can see me kind of looking around, and I'm trying to just kind of get my eyesight back because you see a lot of these guys go, I can't see, and the fight's over. You know what I mean? It's the first. As soon as you say that to the ref, it's over. I can't. As soon as you
I
say
mean,
I can't see.
they also know, John. You've been in this for a long time. If you say to a referee, "I can't see," you want to quit.
Yeah, it's you never say that. I mean, I would be like guessing how many numbers he's got up because I would want to continue. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's so different. But yeah, it's so rewarding to me because it's like you be precise, you be accurate, and there's blood right away. There's
Yep.
blood right away. Every fight, almost every fight, and that's what I really want is that picture where my face is just covered with blood so I can frame it in my house because I still
As a,
haven't have that.
I, I I respect that, John. As a real fighter, and I was. That's what I always wanted, And I had wars in the gym, some wars with world champions, Bernard Hopkins, guys like that, and those were the kind of days that I loved. Like, if you're a fighter, you live for those days. You don't look the one punch knockouts; they're great, but the war, man, that's what you live for. And I take my hat off to you for even saying that because you're a real fighter.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think the fans, if you look around, the fans that have watched me fight, they want to see me back and they know what's up. There's skill and will here and I still think I have a lot to offer like Luis and Lorenzo, they're in their 40s, and I just, I'm about to be 41. So I feel like the way I train every day, I still have a lot to offer bare knuckle and I can't wait to come back in one way, shape or form or the other. Dave, real
Look,
quick, your top five bare knuckle fighters in the world.
oh, man, you can't make me do that, man. Man, I mean, I think Lorenzo Hunt, Louis Palomino, Mike Perry has to be up there. Reggie Barnett figured it out. The fifth one, I mean, there's a lot. Christine Faria figured it out. Um, Elvin Brito did really good with it. Arnold Adams did good with it. There's a lot. There's a lot that could tie up that fifth spot, but I'll throw Christine Faria up there because no one's been able to touch her yet.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. I love all those fighters would be, in my top five, top 10 too. Absolutely.
And man, I take my hat off to Perry because he figured it out. Like he's trying to learn bare knuckle. He's learning his striking, his hand striking, and understanding the different things, the different benefits of doing things a certain way in bare knuckle, and he's learning that. So I think that's why, you could see like I don't know if you remember his fight with Luke Rockhold, like really remember, but I remember when after he got rocked and came back and started digging into his body, I was like, yep,
There,
he's really starting to understand this sport.
yes, there was a moment in that fight, and let's see if you know exactly what I'm talking about. I think it was right after he got hurt. He stepped forward and he just jabbed him with like a perfect jab, and it
Yep.
rocked Luke. It was actually the most important punch in the fight, I believe, because it was the beginning of the end. And Luke was rocked by just this jab, and it was so short, but the way he stepped forward and timed it was perfectly, and it showed you that man, he gets it, man, he gets it, and he's figuring it out.
Yep, 100%, John. I remember that exactly. It was a great fight. Eddie Alvarez, Chad Mendez was a phenomenal fight.
Yep,
Great. We have a lot of big things coming up for the fall. Can't wait to announce them.
awesome, man. Um, I know. Last thing, What's just one crazy conspiracy that you like to think about or talk about, or just something that just blows your mind when you think about it? Is there anything that comes to mind? Just one thing. You don't have to even say it's true, you believe it, or just something that you've ever thought about that really blows your mind.
I think the whole COVID thing was a conspiracy. So I think that was a conspiracy that blew my mind. That one day we're all living normal, and the next day we're all inside our house wearing masks everywhere we go. I mean, I think that that was a little fucked up, man.
And the crazy thing is, I see people outside in the summer still wearing masks, man. Still wearing masks. And it's sad how
And that,
brainwashed people got during this
that
time.
they came out and said that it may, it may hinder you from getting it a little bit, but it's not like a foolproof thing. Like I didn't wear a mask, man. Like I only did what I had to, man. I went on airplanes. I had it like halfway like this because I
Yeah.
wasn't, man. Like it was, Hey, look, some people did die from it, and I feel really bad for them. But was it a flu? Was it a cold? Was it COVID? We don't know.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Whatever the mainstream narrative and the elite trust fund dorks that are telling it tell us, I don't believe it. So if they told us what it is, I don't believe a fucking word they say, Dave. Dave, thank you so much for coming on, man. I'm not gonna take too much of your time. We'll make this short and sweet. Anything crazy coming up? Any big matchups that you might want to, let the people know?
John, I really have a big ass card coming up end of September. Probably the first or second week of October is where it's going to land. It's going to be a huge card. It's great. We're in talks with a major TV network now. We just got a lot of great things. The momentum is really rolling. We're going to ride with this momentum. We're not going to be that company that did one great show and it's over. We're going to keep rolling this thing. We're launching BKFC Mexico in November. We're launching BKFC Europe September 2nd. So we have a lot of big things that are going on with this company, and we're just keep moving forward and trying to blow this thing up, and it's working.
I mean, what are the chances Conor McGregor fights in 2024?
It's funny. This guy, Damon Martin, did an interview with me the other day, and he said, 6 months ago, I wouldn't even ask you this question. I'd be scared to ask you this question, but you think Conor McGregor ever fights for your organization? And now I have to say, man, he won't stop talking about bare knuckle. So I, look, it's a far fetched possibility, but it's a possibility now.
I mean, when you dream it and you believe it, you achieve it, my brother. Stay the
Absolutely.
course, my man. Much love and respect. I'm one of your biggest fans. I may not be a big a fan of everyone that's around bare knuckle, but
So,
I'm a big fan of you, Dave.
so I want to put myself on the spot right now and say, John Chelbeck will be back with BKFC before year's end.
My man. All right. Thank you so much, Dave. Take care. Thank you for taking the time. It's Not What You Think podcast.